Good morning, everyone. So, I wanted to share some realizations and breakthroughs I've been having when it relates to the teachings of Robert Adams and some of the other masters. So, the first thing that I'm really recognizing is even though I've been meditating for a long time, I've never really just been the witness of my thoughts. For some reason, I found so many other things to be doing or distracting myself with, I guess, during meditation. Um, Even when I focus on just like the I am or the beingness during meditation, I notice that I've never really been just like the witness of my thoughts. And so the big breakthrough that I realized last night, I think, or maybe this morning, was that it seems like there's kind of almost like two modes or two ways you could be being. And the first is you could be the thinker, or at least identified with the thinker and appearing as the thinker, or you can be identified as the observer. And I know from the teachings that the observer isn't even real either, and that there's something behind that. But right now, I've just been noticing, whoa, there really are two distinct ways of being, or ways of being identified: the thinker and the observer. And it's so easy to just slip back into the thinker. And then when you are the thinker, at least from my perspective, it's like you become the thoughts. You're just totally lost in the thoughts. Even right now, I just had to like tune in, because right now I've kind of recognized, oh, even while I'm talking right now, I have been the thinker and not the observer. So right now I've kind of moved into the observer, even right now as I'm talking. And so I'm kind of experimenting, because for the last few weeks, I've woken up every morning well, I've set my alarm for 4 in the morning, and my plan is always to meditate from 4 until 9. And I end up kind of just, I don't know, like so much time just gets lost, and I don't really realize what I'm doing. I'm on my phone, or I'm just slow to wake up. And what I realize is it's totally a different experience when you're sitting still for 5 hours, if that's what you want to meditate for, versus just kind of like moving around. Let me know, comment below, guys, if this happens to you. Like when you sit down to meditate, do you end up like fidgeting? Like I'll end up moving my chair around, switching locations, setting timers on my phone for how long I want to meditate, just switching between guided meditations. So I finally kind of recognized that it's a fully different experience if I can just sit down and decide, okay, for the next 5 hours, I'm just not going to move. So that's something I'm playing around with. I was able to do that for a few hours this morning. I think like from 7 to 9, I did that. So I'm going to set that as my new practice, where every morning from at least 5 to 9 or 4 to 9, I'm just going to sit still and meditate and not move, right? Which brings me to my next point. The next thing that I've recognized, one of the teachers said this as a quote. So they said urges and desires are really just part of the mental um, space in your mind. So if you see thoughts as clouds that are passing by, desires are just another one of the things on the mental scene, and you treat them the same way you would a thought. So the same way you want to let thoughts pass by, you view desires as the same way. A desire pops up, you observe it and let it pass by without acting on it. And this has been really cool for me to experience. Something simple you could try is, if you haven't, like, so I'll set an alarm on my phone and for things, and then when the alarm goes off, I have this strong desire and urge to just get up and shut it off. Like, it really bothers me to hear the alarm going off and I don't shut it off. So I've just been using that as a practice of like observing the desire, and it comes up like 20 times within 2 minutes to just shut off the alarm. And I'll just observe it and stay sitting still until eventually I feel like I have to get up and shut it off. So that's been a really cool practice as well that I just came up with. But you can do that with all sorts of desires. Just really observe the desires without doing them, and just notice that desires, just like thoughts, these are just things that like pass by. It's kind of like a buffet, and you don't have to react to any of them. And one more thing I wanted to share. This was a Buddhist teaching that in a video I was watching, and it was really good. So it was saying with anger, there's two teachings that I'll share. So the first one is, if you want to be a peaceful person, if you want to be calm, which we know is a fruit of the spirit in the Bible, whenever you have that first thought, that angry thought, or that angry sensation in your body, you want to ignore it. Don't engage with it, and don't continue down that path. go back to just being calm, some sort of calm topic. So this happened to me this morning. There was just a topic of something I've been upset with. And so when I noticed that first thought about the topic, I just cut it off immediately and just moved my focus to something else, right? And this is so powerful. Just because we have a thought about something we're angry with doesn't mean we have to continue thinking about it. You can just let it go, which also kind of points to the teachings when, like with the fruit of the Spirit being calm, it starts with your thoughts, right? So, and they say you'll know them by their fruits. So it's not just being calm outwardly, it's being calm inwardly. And so the way that happens is when you first become aware of the angry thought, you just notice it and you just switch your attention, right? I know it's another teaching to kind of sit with it and let it be, but I would say if you're just a beginner, I think it's easier to just not think about the topic, right? We don't have to think about things that upset us. That's not a good use of time. So the second Buddhist teaching I wanted to mention is with karma. And this was really helpful actually when it comes to anger. So if someone is doing something to you that you feel is wrong or you're angry at it, and usually our first reaction is to just either do something that we shouldn't to them or to kind of withhold our love and our kindness. So if someone does something that you think is mean, then the next time you interact with them, you withhold your own goodness and you treat them in an annoyed way or in a distant way or a cold way. But the Buddhist teacher was saying how their karma is what they do and your karma is what you do. And so you want to create good karma for yourself. So what they're doing doesn't matter. It's really important what you do. And so I've been kind of applying that. Like if someone does something I don't like, that's their karma and that's okay. But my response should be something that I would be proud of and something that will be positive for the world. Which brings me finally to, in the Bible it says, it's easy to love those who love you. Anyone can do that. But it's hard to love those who hate you. I'm not sure the exact phrase, right? So that kind of reminds me of this, like, it's so easy for us to be kind to people that are being kind to us, but it's the people that are mean to us or treat us in ways that we don't like. These are the people that it's so important we be kind to, because that's the new pattern, right? You want your behavior and your reaction to be dependent on your morals and values and beliefs, not on how someone else treats you. And you want to be consistent all the time, right? So a person who is peaceful and loving is always peaceful and loving, and it doesn't depend on what someone else is doing. So those are some of my reflections. Yeah. Also, one update is I'm planning to make a beautiful shrine where I'm going to hang a photo of Jesus and also of Robert Adams and put flowers there for both of them and some fruits maybe. I'm really excited. So if any of you have shrines like that or altars, please let me know. You can post photos. I would love to see. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be back every day with a new video like this. And eventually I'm planning to do some guided meditations together or something to bring the community together. So I hope you enjoy.